deep down that we're loved and that we feel that love. It gives so much energy, it gives inspiration, it gives motivation. Well, Gary Chapman is a really well-known American relationship therapist, psychologist, founder of the principle of the love languages. He is known worldwide for his books and his wisdom. And with the love languages test, what we want to do is we want to discover how you feel loved. It helps in communication. It also helps in indicating what our needs are. There are 5 different love languages: words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, acts of service, and physical contact. You are going to feel the most loved, usually with 1 or 2 of the languages. Now, the test results can sometimes be quite close, and it's important to investigate this further and ask questions to discover what your client's true love language is and what's really dominant. Make sure your client fills this out based on what his or her actual needs are and not what everybody around him wants or gives or demands. It's also possible that there's, a hole somewhere in your client's heart. So to say that, like that, the energy, that love that is being put in the bucket, that there are cracks somewhere. That love that's being poured in leaks out then. Maybe quickly, maybe slowly, but if it's leaking, if that's the case, this is something that really needs attention so that that crack can be healed with God's grace, so that when that love is poured in, that it stays and that it's experienced and that it's appreciated. It doesn't leak out of the cracks. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the different love languages. So the first love language is words of affirmation. Who doesn't like to receive a compliment or an affirmation? But if this is your first love language, you feel most loved when others are genuinely positive to you, about you, that when they specifically say what they appreciate. And if it's not genuine, if this is your first love language, then you are for sure going to feel that insincerity. You feel it when you think it's not quite real. Then it really helps in everyone's process if there are encouraging words, but especially, if this is your first or second love language. And what if your partner's first or second love language is words of affirmation, or your children? When you say the words, I really, truly love you. I'm so happy that you're in my life. I'm so proud of you because you have such a caring heart. Things like that can be so substantial and leave such an impact on someone's life. At work, even words of encouragement or of affirmation, even feedback that is not necessarily positive. If you kind of like offer it up as a sandwich, so to say, start with something positive, give that feedback about the improvement that can be made, and then end it with something positive as well. This can mean the difference between the feedback actually being received or not. If you immediately walk in and just say, yeah, this didn't go well, and you need to fix this, it's going to end up really differently probably. But if you start with something genuinely positive and then hear where there's still a little room for improvement, it can have such a different impact. Then people actually can hear you and hear your heart. They don't have to feel attacked. So in general, deliver your words of affirmation, of course, sincerely from your heart, and give those generously. Now, the second love language is quality time. So sincere time, undivided attention, being together when someone is constantly on their phone or looking at a TV screen. That's not quality time. Not making a heart connection. It's passing time together. If that's your client's love language or your own, put time and energy into it to be truly together with each other, to have a heart connection with each other, to really see the other person and hear the other person. Don't sell yourself short on this either. You'll often notice if someone's love language is quality time, and that, for example, in a marriage relationship, if that's not done enough, this is going to have consequences. The one is going to feel deprived, unloved, unseen, unheard. If quality time is your client's love language, then that undivided attention is so crucial. But don't forget, but that even if this isn't your client's first or second love language, it's still so important. Being together, taking a moment for a nice walk or weekend away, a night away, and making arrangements if there are children, really making time to be together with that person. Also, if your client is single, then he or she looks for people around him or her who they can be together with, have a heart connection with. Drinking coffee somewhere, eating out, you'll just notice that this contributes to the person's energy stores as well. At work, if someone's love language is being together, take that time to just connect. Have a cup of coffee together, pay some sincere attention to the other person. If you're busy with your Facebook, your Instagram, or making phone calls or text or whatever during your break, that colleague who has that love language of wanting to be together may feel unseen when you have the opportunity to show love to your colleague. That is just so beautiful. Your client or someone you love loves gifts, who gets super excited when you walk in with a gift, or just for yourself, getting gifts just makes you super happy, or giving gifts, giving a present. It is such a beautiful love language. Showing love when you enjoy giving something to the other person, something thoughtful. It's not about the size of the gift or even the luxury of the gift. It's mainly about that personal nature. So a beautiful flower, a delicious pastry with their favorite coffee, especially selected for your client or for the person you love. A beautiful print, quote that's printed out. Not something that you do for everybody, but just for that one person. And that person really feels seen. Even at work, giving something small where appropriate can be such a token of appreciation, and it can really help empower and motivate the other person. Now, the fourth love language is acts of service, and maybe you're someone who just gets energy from just serving people, who enjoys taking care of people, serving coffee in church, for example, or serving a delicious meal. Wanting to please others from a place of love and a place of service, not to receive affirmation, not to receive confirmation. It's selfless serving. If this is your language, it doesn't just mean that you like to serve others. It is important that you are served as well, and that you allow others to love you in this way, to accept it when they serve you. It can make you very happy when you come home. For example, the laundry's all been cleaned up without having you to ask anyone, or the dishwasher's emptied. Serving doesn't just mean serving others, but just allowing people to serve you. Don't give in to the temptation to do everything, because you're going to run out of energy. Let others show how much they love you through serving you well. And the last love language is physical contact. This is not primarily sexual at all. Physical contact can also just be that pat on the back, that hug. I have clients who really enjoy getting that hug, or even a pat on the back, or whatever. Physical contact, you need to think about this. Between a man and a woman in your practice, how are you going to deal with that as a female coach or as a male coach? Giving hugs to the opposite sex. Clearly indicate your limits in this regard. It is also so beautiful with physical contact, that's connection of that body with the other body. You feel that other person for a moment, and maybe you know that about yourself, that you really like that. And you missed it, of course, during the lockdowns. So many people suffered during that time. Make sure you ask what the other person wants or is comfortable with. Some people don't care much at all about physical contact, or they don't even like it. It's not their love language. That's okay. But is it your language? If it is, make it clear that you like getting those hugs. Or maybe it's the primary language of your partner or your child. Invest in this. Give the other person that back rub. Give them that hug. Sit next to them. Walk in hand in hand. Give them a kiss on the cheek. These are all ways to shape that physical contact, and at work too. So many appreciate just that pat on the back. Don't hesitate to learn to speak someone else's language.